Hey, internet foodies, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, I am so glad to have you. My name is Amanda and I like to cook. I like to cook without recipes and I want to show you how I go about my process. So tonight I'm making a really quick stir fry, which is really good because I'm starting dinner kind of late tonight because it's such an amazingly beautiful spring day here in Washington that I spent time outside and lost track, and it's like, oh, it's time to come in and start making dinner. So let's get started. All right, first off, I like to get my vegetables going. So I also like to cook right next to, there's a hair in there. That's what always happens when you have a cat and a dog. I like to cook right next to my skillet so that way as I'm chopping, I can also be dropping. So I'm gonna put it on kind of low right now since I don't have any vegetables. Oh, okay, that was avocado oil. It's empty, so we're gonna go with olive oil. So I'm gonna just put a little olive oil, and we'll start with some carrots first. And I'm just gonna give them a good peel. I don't always peel my carrots. A lot of times I'll just give them a good scrub in the sink, but tonight I felt like peeling them up a little bit. Yeah, it is like the first really nice spring day that we've had, and I think the high was 63 today, and I've got the window, the sliding glass door open to get some fresh air in the house after being, having everything shut up for all winter. And I taken my dog over to the dog park, and this is a new development, so I'm like constantly meeting new neighbors. So that was really fun. There was another lady there with her dog, and so we got to visit. So I'm just cutting these in some thin circles. It's not usually the shape I go for when I'm doing a stir fry, but I'm pretty random that way. So tonight we've got circles. A lot of times I'll do like slice on an angle and do ovals, but I like carrots in my stir fry sometimes because one, it's a vegetable my kids love, and second, it just adds like a pretty bright color. So next I got some sugar snap peas, and I like, well, these don't look like they have, sometimes they have the cap on that where they were attached to the plant. And so I'll cut that off, but these don't seem to have that. But still, I like to cut them in to about thirds, just because, when you're going to eat it, I don't really want a whole sugar snap pea on my fork. I mean, it's definitely, presentation-wise, it might look nicer, so if you're trying to be a little bit more fancy, you could leave them whole, but for ease of eating, I'm going to give these a quick chop. So you can see what I'm doing is I'm just making little bundles, and I kind of line them all up with my knife, and that way they are the same size, and I can chop them up. I'm not using this whole bag. I'm using, looks like about half of it, and I'll use the rest of the bag like chopped up in some salads later this week or something like that. This was 1 pound. And now we're gonna use some mushrooms. I need to get a little rag because a lot of times mushrooms have dirt on them, and you just wanna give them a quick rub. I think I'm gonna quarter these tonight. Don't wanna wash them in the sink because they will soak up a bunch of water, and then they will release that water as you're cooking them and make your dish soggy, and they'll be soggy, and nobody wants soggy mushrooms. So sometimes I will clean them all and then chop them all. Sometimes I chop and go, just depends. I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to cook fast tonight because We usually eat dinner pretty early, around 5:30, and it's 5:20 right now. But luckily, this is a very fast cooking meal. All right, a couple more. And then we will get to the beef while these are cooking. All right, let me give them a good stir. And then I'm keeping this kind of just on low because I'm gonna have my back turned to them here in a second. And I don't want to, so I'll just add a little salt, and I don't want them to overcook. Okay, I'm gonna go over here to do some meat. Is my button working? Normally I would just do the meat right next to the stove, and that way I can watch my vegetables, but I want you to be able to see how I'm cutting it. This is homemade ginger peach kombucha. So good. Okay, give them a quick stir. Okay, so yeah, if you've never had kombucha, so I just reused this raspberry lemon ginger kombucha container, but I homebrew my kombucha. I should do a video on it one day. It's a probiotic health drink, and it's so good. All right, so this is just sirloin steaks, and we're going to take them and slice them down like that on an angle. Now, you want to see how I've got my knife not up and down, it's just at an angle, and with one motion. Now, if your knives are really sharp, this will be easier. It should be one motion. My knives, I still need to take them in. This week got away from me again. I just need to put it on my calendar. I don't know. I've got the worst. My husband says that I'm just about getting my knives done as he is about like taking the car in for its oil inspection. Not its inspection, but like its oil change. He says if I would take my knives in, he'll go get the oil done on the car. I'm like, okay, we got a deal. Luckily for me, I don't have to get the knives done nearly as often as he has to do the oil on the car though. All right, so you see how I'm just, whoa, that one went fast, slicing it down. So I'm gonna go ahead and stir my veggies and do this to the rest of my steak. And you want it really thin, like see how thin I'm making these? So that they will cook up like really fast and be nice and tender for you. So like I said, I'm gonna stir my veggies and do the rest, and we'll be right back. So this piece is just kind of fatty, and so since we're cooking it really fast like that, it would be grizzly when you try to go to eat it. So I've cut that piece out. All right, so now we've got all our meat chopped up. We're gonna do the get the vegetables out of the skillet, the meat in, and we're gonna make a sauce. All right, so I turned these up a little bit to get them going, and now they are cooked nicely with a little bit of color, so but not wilted down too much. So I'm gonna set them aside in a bowl. Because we want our skillet to be empty so that our meat can get really nice and hot and cook fast. I had a mushroom that went overboard. All right, so I'm gonna turn this up because we want this really nice and hot for our beef. And I'm gonna actually get some tongs. Okay, set these aside, grab my beef. I'm gonna add some more oil. Again, I would prefer avocado oil, but use what you got. And since I don't use a non-stick skillet, I want to make sure I've got a nice good glaze on the bottom there, and we're going to cook this in batches, because if we put all this in at once, it would steam up. It's actually probably too much beef. So I'm probably going to cook some of this and keep it separate from my veggies so I can use it for a different dish. I don't know. We'll see how it looks when I get it cooked up. I always make decisions on the fly when I'm cooking. All right, we're going to season it while it's in the skillet with some salt and a little bit of pepper. And I will gather up stuff to, oh, you can't see my skillet. I'm going to gather up stuff to make the sauce. All right, magic sauce ingredients. This beef, it's okay if it's still a little bit pink because we're going to then add the vegetables back. That's a little better. Okay, we're going to add the meat and the vegetables back in, and it'll cook. Oh, look, got some good color on that one. I'm gonna turn up my heat. All right. I'm gonna pull all of this out. Yeah, I think I will go ahead and cook up all this meat. And then I've got some rice going in my Instapot. Now, you'll see I've got some, well, you can't really see it, but there's liquid from the beef, a little bit of grease. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour that out. I don't need to add any more oil because my skillet has plenty of oil on the bottom here. Oops, turn up the heat again. Spread these around. Ah, beef overboard. There we go. And now we'll make our sauce while this second batch is cooking. All right. I just like to use a measuring cup because, not that I actually measure, but it's got a pour, so when I go to pour, it'll be nice. All right, I'm gonna use some soy sauce. And I'd use about 1/4 of a cup. This is a little bit less. I might have to get another bottle out, we'll see. Basically, I will make up the sauce and give it a quick taste, and if I need to add more stuff, then you adjust as you are going. So this is rice wine vinegar. Sesame oil is very strong, so I'm just going to use a little bit of that, not too much. Okay, I'm going to give this a good stir. Try to separate some of these pieces of beef as we're cooking here. All right, some brown sugar. I've got a little terracotta bear in here. I will link this guy on Amazon down below. He will keep your brown sugar moist by absorbing the moisture. He's been a nice addition. All right, and here is a cool trick. So I just keep ginger in the freezer. I don't even peel it. They say the peel is a little bitter, but I honestly don't notice. And if you, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and lower this because it's almost done and I don't want to deal with it yet, but it's not all the way done. So if you use a fine microplaner, which I will also link one down below, and if you click on my links, you get, I might get a couple cents or something. And as you just grate this is just frozen ginger, and I can grate it straight in. I don't have to worry about peeling it. It will stay good in the freezer for months, especially if you put it in a nicer bag than the loose one that came from the grocery store. And then it'll gather up on the back of the microplaner, and I just kind of put it in there. I'm going to taste it. I might need more. And then I'm going to do the same thing with a garlic clove. meat. I need to give it a stir. So you've got several things going on at once. I lowered the heat down too much. Now it's kind of boiling in its own juices, and I don't really want that. So raise it up again. It's very forgiving though. And I'm going to grate this ginger, and then that gives you garlic, and it gives you almost like a garlic paste. Now this micro planer, the fine one, you saw I rubbed my thumb up against the garlic, and if you're careful, it's not going to cut you. The large micro planer that I use to like grate carrots, that thing will kill you. It is brutal. Okay. I'll just use this to stir. I feel like I'm making a mess. I usually use a whisk. I feel like I might need some more soy sauce, but we'll see. No, I don't need more soy. Okay, it's actually really salty. What do I need? I feel like I'm forgetting something. I'm gonna add some more ginger. And then because it is so salty, I'm going to just add some more. I'm going to add a little bit of water to this to thin it out. Plus I want more juice, or I want more sauce. Okay, now I'm going to add the vegetables and the other beef back to my skillet. Oh, yay. Give this another taste. See, my dog wants dinner. Oh yeah, that definitely helped. Still, it's really, I think I need more sugar. So that's the thing, like you need to just taste it and then decide, like, does it need, is it not sour enough? You're gonna add more vinegar. Is it too sour? Add some more sugar. The soy sauce gives you the salt. The garlic and the ginger give like a little bit of a bite and some really nice flavor. I like to use garlic powder a lot, but this really benefits from fresh garlic. So I would not use garlic powder in my stir-fry sauces. Okay, yep. I just needed a little bit more brown sugar. All right, this is arrowroot powder. It's a thickener. You can also use cornstarch. Arrowroot powder will keep your sauce like translucent. It's also good for people who have corn allergies. Okay. And I'm just running out of stuff tonight. There we go. That'll do it. And it doesn't take very much. It's very powerful stuff as far as a thickening agent goes. And you just want to make sure it gets all broken up with no lumps, because if it's got lumps in here, it's going to be lumpy in there. I may have to break down and actually go grab my whisk. Watson, we're not eating num-nums right now. You're going to eat when the whole family eats at the table together. Okay. Now we're going to pour this in. And it just needs, see, I didn't, there's a lump. I'm going to turn this on high because I want to bring it to a boil, and that will activate, I guess, the arrowroot powder, or if you use cornstarch. You can also use flour if you don't have the other two, but it's going to give you a different consistency to your sauce. Most, like, at least American type Chinese restaurants use arrowroot powder or cornstarch to make their sauces. All right. So beef stir fry with sugar snap peas and carrots and mushrooms. Here, let me show you what it looks like close up. Oh, so good. And see how it's thickening up there? And as soon as it gets nice and thick like that, you just turn off the heat. And I'm gonna dish some up. I like to serve some chopped peanuts on mine. You can add them to the dish, but my family doesn't like peanuts in there, so I usually just add it on the side. I want to take a moment and say thank you so much for watching my video. I really appreciate your time. And if you hit that subscribe button, that will warm my little YouTuber heart. And leave any kind of comments if you've got any questions. I will try to answer anything that I can. So y'all have a good day, and I will talk to you soon.